Account of itself against United in the Community Shield.
Not a lot you can say about the systems of play. We know pretty much this is a familiar looking one, particularly with Giggs and Van Nistelrooy partnership. It's a strong back four, Martin, very powerful, very strong, so that's, we'll be happy with that. It's in midfield, where probably three of this four might not play if United had everybody fit and going, but Phil Neville picked to play alongside Roy Keane, man of the match performance in this game last year. I think he's been picked deliberately to play against Ashley Cole, to test him, to test his defensive ability, to test his temperament more than anything. So watch United, get him the ball and say, go on, see what you can do against him. And I think from there it's pretty much what you would expect. Arsenal, well, we wondered from midweek what he would do.
Because we did say in midweek that was Arsenal's strongest side.
Yes, we did. But I think this is a different game, and he's talked since Wednesday, Arsene Wenger, about being outfought, outmuscled. No surprise then to see Ray Parlour brought into the side here, along this side. Now, Freddie Ljungberg's got a big job. I talked about Ashley Cole getting attacked. Now, Freddie Ljungberg will want to go forward. It's his natural job, Martin. And I think Arsenal will have a look. Don't be surprised if this doesn't work. And Ashley Cole's been tested. If these two don't swap, Freddie goes over and Ray Parlour comes over and fronts up Ashley Cole because he's better defensively in that
department. Are you surprised about Bergkamp?
A little. I like horses for courses. This is a good ground for Wiltord.
Yeah.
But maybe he's going to say he's hoping to get Bergkamp involved in a deeper area the way he normally does and leave Henry up top on his own. I think that's probably how they're going to start. But the lads have touched it in the studio. This guy is so important. Everyone talks about Henry, but when this boy ticks, when he gets in the ball and he's all over the pitch covering and then influence at the head, when he ticks like that, Arsenal normally tick too.
Great expectations. Even if Arsenal were in their most dazzling form, today would be a very tough ask. Manchester United have won 13 of their last 15 Premiership games. They've won 7 in a row in the league here. But I do think the Arsenal players have been honest in their assessment of a bad night against Inter. But what has rather surprised them, Andy, has been the strength of the criticism. And in that Arsenal dressing room, I think they'll just be whipping up some final words, a strong desire to prove those critics wrong. But that will take a lot of maybe self-control as well as the skill we know they have.
Volatile environment they're getting into, these two teams clashing head-to-head like this, Martin. I think when you're a good side, when you're a great side, and let's be fair, Arsenal have been a great side for the last 10 years, basically. When you're a great side and you don't quite function, you get criticism. It's nature. Now, we were there on Wednesday, saw Portsmouth. They've gone the best part of 200 hours without a goal in free play. Now, that's not the Arsenal I remember from last year. It's not the Arsenal that started the season. And I think that's what Arsenal fans say, wait a minute, he scored a penalty against Portsmouth, shut out against Milan. When was the last time? Well, you know, that Freddie Ljungberg goal at the Blue Camp against Manchester City, the last goal from free play that they've scored. So I think that's why one or two ask questions. And there's no doubt they are weaker at the back than they've been in the past years. They can't deny that, and they haven't.
Jens Lehmann, the goalkeeper, certainly held up his hand, so to speak, after a mixed bag from his point of view on Wednesday. And Patrick Vieira, who can bestride any football stage, didn't in that opening game in the Champions League. Losing to Inter doesn't mean the end of their Champions League hopes, just as defeat here wouldn't end their Premiership ambitions. But a double whammy within a week that would make it a real test of the character in the Arsenal dressing room.
That would be a triple whammy after last Saturday against Portsmouth.
Yeah. But you could hardly ask for a bigger contrast between midweek European experiences. Panathinaikos might not carry the clout of Inter, but were emphatically put to the sword by Manchester United. And Roy Keane, if you want someone to rattle the United Sabres, Captain Keno is there, and it's his 400th appearance for the club. He'll want to make it a notable one. There would have been many more, but for a cruciate knee problem and this hip injury that he referred to in his interview, there's just maybe taken a little bit of edge off the running, but certainly not the appetite for the game. it's a welcome worthy of the occasion. These meetings always provide such compelling contests, with Arsenal in particular under the microscope in Manchester today. It is live, and it's right after the break.
This is a Super Sunday in every respect. Live from the Barclaycard Premiership, it's Manchester United against Arsenal. 1-2 last season. Will this shape how the current season ends? Match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Match referee Steve Bennett in charge of his second United-Arsenal game this season, but appointed by two differing footballing bodies. He was given the Community Shield by the Football Association. Today's assignment comes from the Premier League itself. There's still one disciplinary issue outstanding from the match in August, so his appointment today did come as something of a surprise, particularly to Arsenal.
You don't usually see that in games anymore, do you? People turning around. Normally, no advantage to be gained with the windless grounds that we watch these games in. So, but Patrick Vieira's turned them round. Well, there's a little superstition in there, I'm not sure.
By far and away, the two most successful clubs since the start of the Premiership. It might well not just be about these two this season, but it is certainly about these two great clubs this afternoon. And here's Ryan Giggs. Parlour in crisply, and Arsenal will be looking for more of the same. Ray Parlour's been something of a talisman for the Gunners on this ground, where they've had some good wins, of course. They've won here in the Premiership in each of the seasons that's ended with them picking up the Premiership crown. And of course, last season they beat Manchester United here in the FA Cup and went on to win that trophy as well. And if Manchester United feel there's some early uncertainty to try and cash in on here, that wouldn't surprise you. I think it's go for a fast start.
Great skill from Giggs. Had a little look, saw Lauren commit himself, flick him outside the left foot and away.
Bergkamp catching O'Shea. There's been more substitute or spectator than player for Arsenal at Old Trafford in recent seasons, but he's in at the outset today, Bergkamp. Kolo Touré, who's the best of the Arsenal back line on Wednesday. Not a great deal of competition in that respect. On several occasions he diffused the danger from Martins, the inter-forward, who had such an inspiring first half in particular. Parlour. But a night earlier, it was a stroll in their own park, really, for Manchester United. They made it happen, of course, and made Panathinaikos look woefully weak in the end. Bergkamp right up alongside Ulrich. It's O'Shea who makes the header. Keane is there, Parlour trying to hunt it down for Arsenal. Ferdinand to Gary Neville. Younger brother Philip, as Andy pointed out, in that holding midfield position. But he got a man of the match verdict for when Arsenal were last here in the league. And Manchester United won that game 2-0. And of course drew 2-2 at a crucial stage later in the season at Highbury. West, pressed by Vieira. And Tingy, the official, saying that the hold will across the line.
I think Sylvester's quotes to his fellow Frenchman in the Arsenal side might have had a little bearing on it as well. It was less than complimentary about them.
Touched on by Ljungberg. You talk about the auto horses for courses. Freddie Ljungberg's got a great record against Manchester United. Scored against them 4 times. Giggs to Quinton Fortune. And Nistelrooy just checked and got the ball by doing that. Flicked forward by Cole. Parlour's header. Arsenal have won both of their away games in the Premiership so far this season, comprehensively at Middlesbrough. Less so across town here at the City of Manchester Stadium. But they did show plenty of character that day, coming from behind. Nicely done by Bergkamp. Goals given Arsenal's way. Ljungberg thought that the challenge was a bit brusque on him by Mikhail Silvestre. Bergkamp. Gilberto. Ronaldo, who certainly led Charlton a merry dance recently, and he's left Ashley Cole on his backside with a very encouraging contribution there.
Yeah, he nearly put his hip out, Ashley Cole, there, didn't he? Goodness me, he changed the direction, but that's, I think, why he's picked him, Sir Alex, and would have done anyway, to really test Cole. That's why Freddie Ljungberg's got a job on as well.
Player cam, if you're a Sky Digital viewer, is pointing at Cristiano Ronaldo. Use the red button on the remote. Keane. Phil Neville giving Ronaldo a chance to express himself again. Vieira trying to get across. This time he just pushed it too far. Ahead the young player from Portugal.
Well, that's what he's going to do. He's going to attract another player over towards him every time, whether it be Patrick Vieira, Freddie Ljungberg, whoever will have a responsibility in a yellow shirt. That if it's one-on-one v Ashley Cole, he might just need a bit of help today at some time.
Neville having to play on the retreat, but good support and good vision from Neville himself to find Keane. Fortune played left back against the Gunners in the Community Shield. Prefers to be further forward and would love to get a run in the team. He's never yet got a Premiership winners medal, Quinton Fortune. Never had enough appearances in 3 winning seasons here. He needs 10, and today it's his 4th already, so this might be his best chance, but of course Manchester United have to win the title.
Yeah.
Lauren. Parlour chasing, and he'll certainly do that with bags of gusto.
He's quick Sylvester though, Martin, across the ground, isn't he? I think there's a lot of people here at Manchester United believe he's playing now where he's better, where he's best, and that's in one left-sided centre-back. He certainly looked extremely comfortable every time he plays there.
Ferdinand, who's getting his fitness back. He's had a virus, they think. It's shown itself as a pain in the kidney area, and very sharp pain too. O'Shea, closed down by Parlour. The top 2, remember, from 6 of the last Premiership seasons, and that way again at the start of this weekend, but not at the moment. Chelsea's excellent win yesterday. Toure this time. Well, the decision is a throw to Arsenal.
Oh, they're just furious, isn't he? He was just bowled over. Colo Toure. Ball's played in. Might have been a case.
Parlour.
Just a little bit of sparring going on early in the games, and it usually is that way.
Parlour just misjudges it there. Fortune. Parlour might get a foot in again, and does. Lauren. Henry. Now Vieira, so often linked in the transfer gossip columns in the newspaper, with a move to Manchester United. Couldn't blame Manchester United for expressing an interest.
No.
Lauren.
You see Freddie Ljungberg's intention, Mark. He's playing over here on the right-hand side now, so I think that's an area where if He gets himself like that, Patrick Vieira, very quickly just trotting. No, very quickly trotting doesn't make sense, but he's very quickly spotted that he's gone, and he's had to go and fill in. He might have to do that once or twice today.
At the moment, Ljungberg is in the centre of midfield alongside Gilberto and Vieira, just holding that left-hand side berth where he might be able to help out Ashley Cole. Ferdinand's header. Martin Keown, we haven't mentioned him yet.
First touch, really, I think.
Came back well when Campbell was suspended in Manchester against City. Got the man of the match award. His warrior-like qualities, I'm sure, will be important for Arsenal today. He's had one or two jousts with Ruud van Nistelrooy. One on the particular occasion turned out to be very costly. He was fined £5,000 by the Football Association. Gary Neville. Spin on through to Lehmann, who was in great danger there of taking the ball outside the area.
Well, the feet went out, but whether the ball did it is another thing. Played this ball down the line, he comes out, now the feet go outside, but does he keep the ball in? Looks like he does from here. Just, oh yeah, just. You imagine he'd have slipped.
Just be the sort of decision that Steve Bennett would want early in the game. O'Shea. He's got a lovely cruising style on the ball, hasn't he, for a naturally tall man. Very well balanced. Cole, Ljungberg back on the left, and Gary Neville determined not to let him settle on the ball.
Yeah, that looked like an Arsenal throw, so tit for tat over there.
Giggs makes a run, looking for a longer throw. And Manchester United get a corner. Just over 10 minutes gone.
Well, they've got plenty of targets, Manchester United, but you look at the size of Arsenal, they are a big side.
Well, they were caught out in the Community Shield, weren't they, by a Manchester United corner routine, with Silvestre scoring in that game.
Well, that wasn't the best corner. I'm not impressed, Sir Alex.
In November, he will complete 17 years as manager of Manchester United. I wonder when ever there will be a manager at this level of the game who would put in such a shift, and he says he's not finished yet, not by any means. Henry. Arsene Wenger completes 7 years at the end of this month. It's the penultimate game of his 7th year in charge. Newcastle at home next Friday, which you can watch with us on Sky Sports. Here's Lauren. O'Shea deals with a ricochet. Just trying there, Silvestre. Keane. Now Silvestre's got to use his right foot, or has he? Maybe he should have done. And
well, that's generous in the extreme from that linesman down that corner. Manchester United get themselves in a little bit of a problem. They're trying to be so precise and clearing it, not just putting a foot through the ball, but trying to play out defence. Admirable. Sometimes you do have to just put the foot through it.
Tim Howard, who's fitted in very snugly into life at Manchester United. Under Fabian Barthez, the goalkeeping spot was always had an air of show business about it. Howard, more matter of fact. Made one very good save, even in the 5-0 win on Tuesday night, from a header at the other end of the ground.
Yeah, I think he's done all right. Just get on with it. No fuss.
Ronaldo. That's Gilberto who brings him down.
He won't be the last. He gets outwitted like this. It's ridiculous. certain situations, you know, Martin. You get free kicks like that, maybe a little bit further forward. You just say, look, put it down quickly, give it to the kid again, and say, go on, run at them again.
It's been set up though more deliberately for Ryan Giggs to take.
He's hit the post. He's hit the post.
Toure was very unsure as the ball came in. And Jens Lehmann, we've seen these trouble Arsenal in the past.
Trouble everybody in the past. It's as simple as that, because the goalkeeper cannot assume no one's going to get ahead on this, so he waits. Somebody gets up, Toure ducks under it, and that's 4 inches away from bringing the first goal to Manchester United.
You think of not very far away from here, the Reebok Stadium.
Yeah.
Ended up then as an own goal. It did touch the defender, who was Martin Keown in those circumstances. It was a very costly moment at the end of last season.
And even as soon as close as Wednesday, I think, wasn't it? Celtic losing the game in Bayern because of a Roy Mackay same sort of thing.
It hasn't been a first 15 minutes full of Manchester United momentum, but they've come closest to an opening goal.
Well, no one's had the momentum, Martin. Part of the reason is that was because the back fours on both sides have had more possession of the ball than anybody. They've been happy just to go across the back, take their time. As I said, it is a bit like sizing up each other, like what they are, two footballing heavyweights.
Vieira, Cole, solidly stopped, fairly stopped by Keane, who slid in, got the ball against Vieira, then Cole's there again. Little cameo, not just of this game, but plenty of meaty meetings between the two in the past. Toure's head. Nistelrooy was interested in a longer throw, but Manchester United waste the restart there. Switch on the player cam. Patrick Vieira now for Sky Digital viewers via the red button on the remote. Bergkamp. Keane, of course, played in the back line against Wolves here. Fortune turned into Gilberto's challenge.
No need. Well, he'll be disappointed with himself. He just went too early, and when you've got the kind of pace that man possesses, you needn't. He was in his own half. Look at that. Goodness, that's how quick he is. Well, he is unlucky then. Well, we were right above that as well, I have to say. I was with the linesman on that. This shows you difficult job running that line. People as quick as that.
You're supposed to have the better view, aren't you? Throw that was disputed on that far side, not the first of the afternoon by any means, but Arsenal got it and taken it with a bit of a positive thrust. Now Vieira to Bergkamp. Paul's made a move on the left, but Bergkamp looks to the right to Parler. Paul could make an extra man coming around the back. And he has this theory about Arsenal's crossing, and no one really wants to attack the crosses. It wasn't a particularly good one by Ray Parler's standards there.
If there's one man in the side who will cross it, it would be him, Ray Parler. Yeah, I just think it's something that at the very highest level they're going to have to add to the game along the way, Arsenal, sometime.
There's a lot of rain in Manchester overnight, but the wonderful weather of recent months has returned. Giggs. Ronaldo taking on three. He's put some hands on Ljungberg there. Steve Bennett, who's bedded into the game well himself. A little extra pressure on his broad shoulders today. Unfussily has dealt with it. 2 for John O'Shea. And it was a weak one towards Silvestre.
He didn't look. It's as simple as that, Martin. He didn't see Henry sprint about 20 yards across field to close off Silvestre down.
Keane. Silvestre looking for the diagonal. I think Giggs might have been his target. Maybe I've done himself injustice, but he's found Ronaldo.
Look at Vieira straight away, Martin. Arsenal captain. Straight over as soon as the ball travelled.
But they conceded the free kick when 2 against 1 in that corner. Could have been a bit more judicious.
This is a lovely ball, I have to say. I think that was his target. Fantastic. And Vieira gets himself right over there right away. A little nudge in the back. That's the call indicating he thought there was a little bit of a dive there. Topical.
And they're going to pay a heavy price for conceding the free kick. Giggs takes deep. Van Nistelrooy.
Well, I'm thinking goal. Is it just fractionally too high? I'm not sure. Just peels off at the back post. It's totally free. Oh, what a chance for that man. Hits the target, he scores, doesn't he? Maybe just leaning back. Maybe mistimes his jump a little. Is he on the way down as he meets it? Well, no. I think he should hit the target and probably score. First real chance of the match.
He's got a great goal against Arsenal, of course, at Highbury in April. Well, the crowd now are very much roaring for the referee to give Ronaldo a bit more protection. Started against Wolves and didn't really do justice when we were here, Andy, did he?
No, he didn't.
And you just wondered whether the bigger demands of a match like this, well, it's produced a very positive start. For Ronaldo, back to Giggs here, plenty in the middle for Manchester United. Drops to Van Nistelrooy, it's there to be hit, good block by Gilberto. Henry. Ronaldo did well. Cut out by Keown.
Good possession, not Keown. Ooh, after the first booking of the match.
Roy Keane got it wrong.
Well, I think Roy Keane's indicating that's his first tackle in the match. First free kick he's given away. He's probably right, but I think when you race at someone and you just fractionally out, and I mean it's just fractionally out, you catch him, you do give the referee a problem. Says the ball's where it's a little, takes a touch, it gets away from him, and I think when you do that, it's hard to make up a case for the defence, isn't it?
Especially he didn't maintain his own balance.
Yeah.
That if he'd stayed on his feet, maybe, but Gary Lewin having to tend to Lauren. Halfway through the first half, Arsenal have settled into the contest. Van Nistelrooy. So Keown did stay on his feet. He might have matched Van Nistelrooy then, but anyway, Manchester United got the ball back and spread it wide. Ronaldo isolating Cole just for a moment, and he's managed to get a cross in, which has been deflected though. And here's another corner.
I think that'll be a route that Sir Alex Ferguson will want his team to take, because Freddie Ljungberg is so forward-thinking, Martin, that if it breaks down like it did and Manchester United can transfer it right to Ronaldo, then he is going to at times be 1v1. Again, Vieira was the one who had to try and get across. It's going to be a long trek for him to do that time and time again.
4 coming from the edge of the area for Manchester United. O'Shea is one of them. But it's met by the fists of Jens Lehmann. And now raises an arm for an offside, hesitates with Vieira. He's got to be careful on the edge of the area again, and so he's explored the wider positions of his penalty area on both flanks. And this on the back of a game where he was a bit uncertain coming off his line.
Well, he was there second time, wasn't he? It took a bit of convincing from Patrick Vieira. He actually come and collect it.
He, of course, made his debut in the Community Shield for Arsenal against Manchester United, just like Howard did for United against the Gunners in the same game. Very much a new season of goalkeeping for both these clubs. Henry, plenty of joy against Fabian Barthez in the past. Cole supporting from the inside, and Ronaldo hasn't run with him. What's Ashley Cole going to do here? Well, maybe that's the best way to deal with Ronaldo. Arsenal need to have the ball.
Brilliant break. Top marks for Ashley Cole. You look at him go, Ronaldo doesn't keep up with him. It must be a joy for the full-back to say, here, have a piece of your own medicine. And he's very, very close. Thought he might slide in, Freddie Ljungberg. He did make the run. There he goes across the picture. And he was there to be slid in early. Just get the impression it's beginning to warm. Which, as I said quite rightly in studio, this is a tie that hasn't disappointed over the years, but I think the first 20 minutes or so was very lukewarm.
On the subject of cup ties, the Carling Cup, Cardiff against West Ham, Tuesday at 7, Sky Sports 2. And on Wednesday, Coventry against Tottenham, also Sky Sports 2, also at 7. Higgs right up on Toure. Phil Neville. Toure wants to see it out. And you were talking about who plays in front of Ashley Cole. Arsene Wenger isn't the sort of manager to move people around to give them specific assignments. I mean, you tend to know when you see his lineup how they're going to play, and usually he sends them out because he thinks they're better than the opposition and they can do it without tinkering with the tactics too much.
That's admirable 9 times out of 10 in most teams, but I think when you're playing one of your biggest rivals away from home, you have to maybe have a look back and say, yeah, well, that's an area where we could have a problem, he would say to himself. So, why move Freddie Ljungberg? Just move one of them in midfield. But, I mean, he obviously feels not, and, you know, at the moment, it's fine. Ashley Cole's done all right against Ronaldo.
I mean, to be fair to Arsene, he might be thinking, well, Perez has been playing there, I've left him out, so maybe it is a concession for Ronaldo. Of course, he might not have realised that Ronaldo would have started the game.
That's true.
All ifs and buts. It's now not about managers, really. It's about players, and that's where Arsenal are looking to show more responsibility than they did in their last 2 games. And they were usually tepid, passionless at times, which is very much unlike the way the Gunners have developed over the last 6 or 7 seasons. Reaction to that, Bergkamp back in the team. He did start against Portsmouth. Keogh, a combustible player, if you like, in an atmosphere that can get very heated.
Well, it hasn't even threatened to, has it?
Cole, Vieira, now Ljungberg. Bergkamp. Cushioned header from Keogh, but it didn't find its intended target. Gilberto. Ronaldo. He's give and go with Philip Neville. Toure roaring across, but Ronaldo will get there first. Fortune has joined Giggs and Van Nistelrooy in the centre. Arsenal regroup. Quinton Fortune. Need a run that type of which from a wide midfield position can catch opponents out.
That's a good ball, good run, decent header. When he's in that little gap in between players, it's going to be a brilliant header to score from there. And the certainly did look the most convincing as he went to head it. Got it on target, what the goalkeeper.
He scored with a super shot, of course, there against Panathinaikos. First Manchester United goal for 2 years. Keogh. Lauren. We had that embarrassment in Manchester, the own goal against Manchester City 3 weeks ago. Sylvestre. Challenged by Parler, it runs for Henry, who's been on the periphery of the match so far. Much to Manchester United's relief, I'm sure.
Again, a little example again, John O'Shea in trouble, might have just put his foot through it and clear these lines. He tried to play his way out, got caught in possession.
And another example of Freddie Ljungberg being caught upfield as the ball went to Manchester United right, and again Vieira had to stride across. Can't get that. It's another towed away by Gilberto. There was another of the Arsenal players who was conspicuously below par against Inter. Keane.
I actually thought Gilberto might be the one that was sacrificed today. I thought Parler might go and play in there. And they either might play Wiltord or Perez in one of the wide areas.
Gilberto, though, finds Ljungberg. Yeah. I love this type of play in the game so far. What Manchester United did at the beginning was play Arsenal on reputation and respect rather than on the Arsenal that they saw on their television screens on Wednesday night. They didn't get in their faces, they didn't rattle any cages.
Well, they're playing a dangerous game there. Just about got away with that again. Hugely confident.
Ronaldo on the run. Vieira trying to stay with it. Toure certainly stuck with Van Nistelrooy. Arsene Wenger's very pleased with Kolo Toure, for the record. And how he's handled playing as a centre-back. Toure by Keogh.
Keogh's just giving him a rocket. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, Arsene Wenger touched on it. He says part of the problem is lack of communication. There was a classic example. No danger whatsoever. Martin Keown did know what was behind him. Only person, Lauren. Give him a shout. Control it, have possession. Now, because of that lack of communication, Arsenal are still defending the edge of the box.
They have got a legacy of the great defensive days on their staff at the moment in Steve Bold, who's coaching one of the youth sides at Henry. Went to a drill or two with the first team back four. Quick free kick taken by Ferdinand. Keane. Ronaldo wants it from Giggs. Swept in the cross. Comes out to Fortune. Keane. Fortune. Keane again. Couldn't find a way through. He's slipping down, Kolo Toure, but he's still got his head to the ball. Real momentum behind Manchester United now. And Lehmann slows them down.
I'll tell you what I like about Ronaldo, Martin. I think people have said that he might not know when to cross it, when to run at people. There's two great examples where he hasn't needed to take anybody on, and he's whipped in two great crosses.
Sylvestre. And he referred to those Sylvestre quotes for those viewers who aren't readers of that particular newspaper. He suggested that Arsenal had lost their essential Englishness, and Manchester United still have it, and Britishness, if you like. And he was saying French players, his French colleagues at Highbury, bring quality, but they don't necessarily bring that sense of a community, if you like, that Arsenal certainly had before. Henry trying to just set up Bergkamp a bit like Frank Lampard was set up for Chelsea's opening goal yesterday.
Well, just a little example, Mark, of crosses and what I talked about. Look at Freddie Ljungberg crossing. How many players in the box? No one. Henry and Bergkamp both 10 yards out. You know, and that's, you know, maybe I'm being too picky in old age.
You're remembering all those many great goals you've scored from crosses.
Now, I'm remembering what great teams do that I've watched in the last 10 years and will watch this year do at times as well. I mean the Real Madrids and Juventuses and Manchester Uniteds of this world, they all cross the ball.
Fortune. Ricochets out to Roy Keane. Trying to find the head of Van Nistelrooy, and Toure intervened.
He's been great again, Martin. Opened the 35 minutes, Colo Toure. I mean, really prominent in defence.
Phil Neville whipping it wide. Ronaldo. Oh, another variation on his game.
But they've just upped the tempo slightly, haven't they, in the last 5 or 6 minutes. That was a shot, but it's his crossing as well that's caused the problem. And this is what I mean, Mark. He's got a little bit of time, but does he think of taking anybody on? No. Shift it and play it. Now, that is a brilliant cross. It really caused a problem. And United, look at the players. 1 there, 2 there, 3 red shirts, all in the penalty area, looking to get on the end of it. And that's the difference. And I'm not saying Arsenal cannot play through teams, because they do. Maybe a little variation might be needed.
Slight miscalculation by Gary Neville. Too much on the cross from Bergkamp. I think at any level of football, Andy, you talk about teaching young players to cross the ball. It's always been the way. Get round the back if you can and pile into the middle. But Arsenal have developed their own art form.
And it is an art at times, and beautiful to watch. Roy Keane on player cam for anyone interested. I'm sure there'll be plenty.
He's got to be careful with those pumping tackles, though. He's already been cautioned. And he has a red card against Arsenal on his record in the past in a FA Cup semi-final replay that he ended up on the right side of the result.
Was that the last ever FA Cup semi-final replay?
It was. You know it was. And you know who scored the last ever goal in the last ever FA Cup semi-final replay.
And who's going to do?
He certainly is. Ryan Giggs.
Might take something like that to break the deadlock today as well.
Giggs to take this corner. Good work defensively by Henry.
You know, that's what I mean as well. He can spring as good as anyone I've seen, Thierry Henry. 6 foot plus, great physique, and a good technical header of the ball when I've seen him do it.
Well, Henry at one end, Van Nistelrooy at the other. They stand a comparison as maybe 2 of the greats of the recent 2 Premiership seasons, plus the 5 games of this. They've each scored 52 goals in that time. That, of course, is Van Nistelrooy's time in the English game. 52 league goals apiece. Van Nistelrooy in 71 games, and Henry in 75. Wonderful. Let's venture forth.
Well, I think in games like this one, Martin, are so important. This is a massive game for Arsenal more than Manchester United, I feel, from a mental point of view. And, you know, sometimes you have to be extremely patient. You have to. The game might not be flowing the way neutrals would love it to be, but the players on the pitch, they've got to be patient. They've got to keep doing the things, because, you know, so often one goal wins these kind of matches.
And Nistelrooy. Ronaldo turned his back. Ashley Cole, what it struck. Ronaldo had a closer view than we did up here.
I mean, it might hit the arm, Martin, but he does turn his back on it. And it does hit the hand, in fact. But, you know, I'm fully in agreement with the referee that you're not given free kicks and penalties for that.
It's been a good spell for Manchester United. Can they crown it with a goal? Lehmann didn't deal with the outswing on the ball.
Just as well his captain did.
Toure can only plop it onto the chest of Cristiano Ronaldo. There's the step-overs that he loves so much. Phil Neville. His game is a bit more prosaic, but you need both sorts. Parlour. Mounts actually defeated him. Roy Keane refreshed from being left on the bench against Panathinaikos, saying that he's had to accept that he can't play every game these days.
Well, I bet anything that majority of the games he's fit for, he'll play in.
Giggs. Toure was the third man. Gary Neville purposefully. Not sure that Lauren quite wanted it there from Gilberto. And his feet were quick enough to deal with the sideways pass.
Lovely straight through Parlour there against John O'Shea.
There's been plenty of that, hasn't there? I mean, you talk about not be free-flowing, but it's so intense, and in a way it has its own fascination, the way these two giants of the game set out to try and unlock each other, and extra dimension today. It's disappearing fast, really, the lack of calibre in Arsenal's performance in midweek. They've had a good 40 minutes here.
I think the Arsenal manager will be absolutely delighted the way his team have played up till now. Maybe would have wanted more at the attacking end of the pitch. Haven't really threatened apart from the once with Ashley Cole.
Sylvestre. Now O'Shea. The uncertainty between Toure and Jens Lehmann. Kolo Toure, a very serious man about his football. A hungry guy, wants to make his mark in the English game and takes everything that goes wrong for Arsenal very personally. And he felt that he wasn't culpable then.
Well, the only uncertainty was the goalkeeper. He was certain, Toure, what should happen, come and take it. He had enough of a lead on Ryan Giggs not to be too troubled in the end.
There wasn't much on for John O'Shea when he had the ball, and suddenly Arsenal looked as though they were going to give Manchester United a chance that they didn't really deserve in that attack. By Keane. Yeah, happy to lose his footing and set up a free kick. Main target for Arsenal here to get to half-time at 0-0 compared to getting to half-time at 3-0 down as they were on Wednesday. Gilberto. Giggs, find Fortune. Fortune might get in there again. Shoulder to shoulder with Parlour. Good, honest work by both midfield players. And by Philip Neville. That was the sort of thing he did in abundance against Arsenal here last season in the league. And Ronaldo was isolated Ashley Cole, but Cole's quickness on the turn, and he's got a splendid spin in that sense. Not with the danger that time.
They haven't quite clicked into gear, Arsenal at the top end of the pitch, have they, Martin? They've been rather, I wouldn't say happy to contain, but, you know, they know the problems that they have, and that a goal can win this, and Arsenal will happily take a goal in the last 5 minutes and still be in a game.
Great strength by Van Nistelrooy. And Manchester United make a breakthrough. So close to half-time, it would be very damaging to Arsenal's morale if they did. Bergkamp. But well under pressure, and then he wasn't entitled to hold off Sylvestre. After that, the ball had gone. Now been a foul by the Frenchman, and the referee called it even. Vieira. They've seen so much of each other, haven't they? Vieira starting his 8th season at Arsenal. How time has flown by in that respect.
A teenager when he arrived, isn't he?
Dealt with in the air by Mikhail Silvestre. Will only be one added minute.
Well, I think probably Alex Ferguson will feel his side have been the better side just about in the first half without being dominant. Arsene Wenger, on the other hand, I think will be fairly pleased with the way his side have defended, the way they've contained Manchester United for the majority.
Very rugged by Vieira, and then he's caught Keane as well. I talked right at the outset about the need for self-control from the Arsenal players, and just a sign or two that Patrick Vieira might be losing it a bit, and that half-time might come at the right time for him to cool down. Ronaldo.
I think when this boy learns the game and gets a bit more experience, he's going to be an unbelievable threat, showing that he can go both ways, left and right, he's comfortably with.
Ljungberg. Okay, battling on. Where's the ball? Came Manchester United's way to Keane and then Van Nistelrooy.
Just for me.
All travelled a distance.
He does that though, he goes offside deliberately, look like that, and then tries to bend the run. I think he's just off, he didn't quite bend it enough, I don't think. But it's a little trick that he has, Mark, where he stands deliberately offside and then bends it back in.
Well, a happier first half on Sunday than it was on Wednesday for Arsene Wenger. There have been troubles though. Ronaldo is impressed with his sleight of foot. Ryan Giggs with a curling free kick, struck a post. Ruud van Nistelrooy with a headed chance at the far post, put it onto the roof of the net. 0-0 at the break.
Steve Bruce and Alan Smith are with us this afternoon. Their thoughts when we come back. This is as close as we've been. But there's no winning it.
Well, he's obviously put out a team today with leaving out Wiltord and leaving out Pires. He's put on a team to say, right, I want to have defensively to give us a sound base. That's what it looks like from the outside. So I would be suspecting he'd be saying exactly the same thing and a bit more. And who knows, can they go and create a chance, you know? But certainly defensively they've given themselves a chance, because the criticism of what they've had in the week has obviously disappointed them and hurt them, and they've responded in the right way defensively. 15
minutes can be a very long 15 minutes sometimes, but Arsenal have made full use of it, and they are wandering back, ambling almost, aren't they? And then some like to see players come racing back out for second halves, but conversations continue aplenty. And so far so good for Arsenal. Manchester United are ready and have been for some time. Ruud van Nistelrooy will follow on player cam for the first 15 minutes of this second half. That's for Sky Digital viewers. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. For the record, the last Premiership team to stop Manchester United winning at Old Trafford were Manchester City back in February in a 1-1 draw. And Bolton Wanderers, the last visitors to win here in the league just over a year ago. It's 0-0 here.
Well, we've got one missing, I think. Lauren's not out yet, I don't think, Martin. I think the right back's out. Steve Bennett, there he is. Now he's come wandering out now.
A schoolmasterly shake of the head by Steve Bennett is a strange thing. And here you have to come a decent distance to get from the dressing rooms, certainly to play right back in this half of the pitch. The ultimate diagonal, really, from where the changing rooms are. So Lauren is ready, so we can start the second half. Ljungberg. First foul of the second half from Philip Neville. Freddie Ljungberg has scored his 4 Manchester United goals past 4 different goalkeepers. Schmeichel, Van der Hau, Bosnich, Barthez. Could he make it 5 with Tim Howard in the set?
That hand. We're talking about goalkeeper. That's the one area today as well at the back where, you know, I think Jens Lehmann has looked less than confident. It's obviously the sun's just troubling. Maybe that's why Patrick Vieira turned him round. You see the sun right in the camera lens there. That's probably why Patrick Vieira turned the teams round when they won the toss in the first half. But they really didn't trouble Tim Howard enough. But he's looked a little uncertain to me in decision making.
Toure. Understanding with Keown, they did well together against Manchester City. Gilberto, Ljungberg making the run, well tracked by Gary Neville, but he's lost his footing, and Ljungberg face down. Steve Bennett says play on.
Well, he's lucky, Gary Neville. I don't think he's lucky in respect of it might have been a penalty. I thought he's lucky because he did lose his footing. And he tried to get the ball and he stumbled over, and I think just the fall, Freddie Ljungberg went over the top of him. But it was a real let-off for Gary Neville. You see, they always tell, because Freddie Ljungberg gets up without complaint, Matt, but you can see how he's struggling. And then he just goes over himself at the end, loses his balance, stumbles. And he doesn't complain.
He does have a little look round.
He has a look, obviously, yeah.
Ronaldo. Anticipation by Gilberto led to the interception. Bergkamp worked hard in the first half. Caught by Fortune coming back. Well, after the Robert Pires incident last weekend, Arsenal players going to ground and refereeing judgment about that are very much in the news.
I'm of the opinion, if there's contact made, whatever kind of contact, Martin, it's up to the referee. That's what he's paid for, to judge what the contact was like and make a judgment from there. I hate the fact of somebody who goes over with no contact whatsoever. That, I think we should eradicate, should have concern about.
O'Shea, and then there's a slip by Lauren. Keane.
Snowing at that ball as well. He does like that one from his left-sided centre-back area, Mikel Sylvestre. Seen him play that time and time again.
Well, he got lucky, Gary Neville. And, right back who's been around here almost as long in terms of appearances as Roy Keane. This is game 398 for Gary and Manchester United senior side. His face would have been as red as his shirt if he had let Arsenal in for an opening goal. Ori. Haven't said his name much today. Here he is again.
Arsenal fans only want you to hear him say it one more time, and that's when he smashes one in the back of the net. They'll be quite happy with that.
He scored 7 goals in the past against Manchester United. He even scored the one in the dreadful 6-1 defeat here. Usually Cole was substituted at half-time when they were 5-1 down. It's Cole's cross. Certainly survived into the second half today.
Surely that must have come off. Well, looked like it. We're miles away, admittedly.
Vieira. Now Ori. Ronaldo tracked back well, although he actually didn't have a player to track with him. He didn't know that. Gilberto had the shot and it spins away.
This is a better start. This is the best piece of passage of play Arsenal have had since the start of the second half. They've been in the ascendancy. They haven't been camped in this part of the pitch, but they've been up there more than they were whole of the first half. So much so they earned the first corner.
Well, it's as if they've asked a bit more of Ori, or he's asked a bit more of himself. After a quiet first half, he now takes the corner.
I could see that was going to happen.
Gets it back to Henry. He has scored some very special goals in his time in English football. It was the height of ambition, really. Hasn't been fanning the flames in the pre-game talk like he has done in the past as much. And
early in the season was the time. I think that's the key.
Again, the volley though is crisp from Rio Ferdinand. Cole. Ronaldo takes it away from Gilberto. Touré will get there ahead of Van Nistelrooy.
That was the time to travel with the ball, I felt. Ronaldo, there was a little bit of grass in front of him. He was going at the back four. They've just been a little hesitant, Manchester United, at the beginning of this half. And Arsenal have grasped the initiative, there's no doubt about that. Full marks to them for it.
Ljungberg. That was the wrong option. Even if he got it past the first man, it never would have reached Lauren. Neville biding his time. Looking out his brother. Gary Neville's just had a bad 5 minutes, hasn't he? Can happen to the best of them. Cole. Bergkamp.
Good positioning. Perfect positioning. If he's ahead of play there in any shape or form, John O'Shea. Freddie Ljungberg's in.
Signs that the game will open up more in the second half. And the reason for that really is that Arsenal have committed more players forward. Sylvestre. There's time for Van Nistelrooy to collect. And there's time to pick out Ronaldo here. Giggs far post. Good handling by Lane. It bounced just in front of him.
I don't think he's going to score from here. This is ambitious, but for the first time, because Arsenal have gone forward, Martin, there's a little bit of space for Manchester United to work in. I think that's the wrong option from there. Again, 3 red shirts waiting for anything coming across the face of goal.
Ljungberg. Bergkamp. First touch was good, allowed him the second. Lauren.
Oh, good decision. Lawrence jumped into John O'Shea there. That's what I mean about no contact being made.
John O'Shea went to help Lauren back up, an offer that was refused by the Arsenal right back. Ronaldo, well, kept the ball, and Steve Bennett has decided that the way that Ronaldo went down, Van Nistelrooy went down rather, but a card's required.
I think he indicated he felt he kicked through him here. Now he's protecting the ball. There you go. Don't think he can have many arguments with that. He's done most things right today, Kolo Touré, but not that one.
Well, from being prostrate, prone, not moving, Ruud Van Nistelrooy will certainly be on the move now as he looks.
You watch him though, Martin. You watch him. Look, he stands offside. Look at that. Now this is a little ploy of his, and just as the kick's been taken, he steps back onside. There it goes.
Giggs takes. Goalkeeper wasn't sure. He's punched. It's come off for Lehmann. Keane. Ferdinand.
More on the front foot was I would describe Arsenal at the moment. I think first half they played on the back foot. Happy to didn't do anything like this. Pressure high up the pitch.
Keane.
It's almost as if they fancy it themselves now, Arsenal, Martin. So we should have I think a more entertaining first half, second half, sorry, than the first.
Well, it's the old equation, isn't it? How much do you attack to try and win the game? How much is it going to maybe contribute to you losing the game by possibly overcommitting? Fortune. Giggs. Stand ball forward by Fortune. Great work between Van Nistelrooy and Keane. And some tremendous defending by Touré.
That was close, wasn't it? Almost combined together, Van Nistelrooy and Keane. And go wide here.
Van Nistelrooy. Will it fall for Giggs? He heads on. Keown gets a vital touch for Arsenal. Now Bergkamp.
That's a proper game now, isn't it? Two sides who are trying to go and win the match now.
And that fact is recognised by the rise in the volume around Old Trafford. Gilberto. Vieira.
And he didn't do Lundberg any favours there. Dennis Bergkamp rather fired at him from too close. Made control difficult.
Oh, they've gone to sleep at the throw. Gary Neville to Van Nistelrooy, who's past Toure.
Oh no, feed it Giggs. Must go Giggs. Must go Giggs. Well, it's not for me to criticise someone who scored as many goals, but you watch Ryan Giggs' position here. Dragged back, sucked over Keown, roll it towards Giggs. Goalkeeper's out near post. Might just be a side foot. Might just be the first goal.
Instead, it was a mishit left footer. Key. Stretching Arsenal with the length of the pass. Giggs. Oh, and Toure again. Brilliant. Some tremendous interceptions in this second half by both Toure and Keown. And after Arsenal had begun the quicker of the two sides at the restart, Manchester United coming on strong now. Vieira.
I wouldn't suggest you go and make a cup of tea in the near future, I tell you.
Well, let's say you'd need a television in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Phil Neville. Toure is really pumped up. He slid into that one. I wonder if he's hurt himself. A bit slow to get on his feet, but maybe it's just a case of getting his breath back. He's being overworked at the moment, and he's caught the ball again.
Well, they're often criticised, the fans here at Old Trafford. They've been a little bit quiet, a little bit on the reserve side, but there's had plenty of noise in the last 5 minutes or so.
Lauren. Ferdinand. Oh, Bergkamp.
He's given the corner. Yeah, they're adamant, Manchester United players, all around that incident that it was Dennis Bergkamp who had the last touch on it. But it was sloppy again, you know, they're trying to play their way out, and Bergkamp made life difficult for them, and he got his reward for persistence. He got a corner that might not have been, and a chance to exert some pressure, having been, well, on the rack for the last 5 minutes.
And up comes the 37-year-old Martin Keown. Swirls away from Vieira. Bergkamp did his best to stop Manchester United breaking out, and then Cole did the rest. He's covered a lot of ground, Bergkamp, today. Maybe not the silky touches and the goal threat of past years, but in these circumstances, Arsenal need everybody to be ultra committed. No comfort zone for anyone when you come to Old Trafford. Fortune.
That was better from the goalkeeper. Positive decision, early decision.
Just to remind you, we are playing for top place in the Premiership today. Gilberto. Vieira. Cole. It's Manchester United's turn to be orderly and organised and stop Arsenal picking a more penetrating pass. Gilberto. Parler involved again, but it's behind Ljungberg. And the roll on the ball was too long for the Swede.
You know, the two players that I'm just thinking, the two players that Arsenal left out, particularly the big names of Perez and Wiltord. And if Sir Alex said maybe there's a nagging feeling that they might just have a say in this match before it ends.
Keane. Cam is focusing now on Henry. Half an hour to go. Is he still quick? I don't think he was quite quick enough.
Yeah, it's a booking. Well, it's a good race. But when you go to ground, as I've said time and time again, you give the referee no option if you're late like that. But to produce a yellow card, thought he could get there. And he's only microseconds out from making contact with the ball. But
both centre-backs yellow carded for Arsenal in the second half. A Manchester United free kick. On a day when the first goal is looking vitally important. Nicely tucked forward by Bergkamp now. Can Henry go all the way here? He's not maybe thinking about it because he's got support to either side. It's Ljungberg from the left. Nobody continued their run.
why did Henry stop?
Nothing wrong with what Ljungberg delivered.
Does he stop? Have a look at Thierry Henry when he plays this ball. Well, he ain't busting the gut. That's what I would say. Look at the gap.
Fowler stopped as well.
I mean, they ain't busting the gut to get there. That's for sure. I tell you what, Fred Ljungberg played a beautiful little teasing ball across, didn't he?
Absolutely. You would have expected a yellow shirt to be at least somewhere within 20 metres of it. Keeling up again. High corner, Toure heads it against O'Shea, but there's a push. Again, Steve Bennett right on the spot. Understated display. I don't think we can question the cautions that he has handed out. Players have played their part as well. There's been some nasty feuds in matches between these two. I'll remember those. There was one occasion at the start of the 1990s when both clubs got deducted points in the table after a brawl that involved most of the players on the pitch.
A bit of sports quiz question. Who wasn't involved in the brawl?
You know the answer, don't you?
No, I don't. Who?
I think it's David Seaman. I'm willing to be corrected on that, but I've seen a few Arsenal-Manchester United games since then. Well, I can tell you that Anders Limpar got the goal for Arsenal. They won 1-0. Cole. Ljungberg. Henry.
So that's when Arsenal differ from a lot of teams, Mark. Ashley Cole and that. They thought about looking to get it in. Happily patient, come across the field again, work it. Look to thread one through. Diagonally in like that. Work off it.
Henry. This finally came in too high for Ljungberg. It's Manchester United anxiety that you're hearing at the moment. Ferdinand just has to put a foot through the ball. Lauren. Then unfussily done by Tim Howard. Quickly grasped, quickly released. Keane. Fortune. Giggs, Van Nistelrooy, if he'd taken that into his stride. Now he's made a bit of contact on Ashley Cole. Doesn't like the decision, but I think it's one that you can understand being given.
This one as well. It'll be a happier second half, and you look at that kind of possession. That's only the last 5 minutes of the match, of course, but it's a good spell that Arsenal have had.
Yes, I think the 10 minutes before that was slightly the other way. Henry, Bergkamp. And Ljungberg's way, he made his own luck there. Lauren, is there going to be a cross?
No, it should come back.
Parler. Vieira, who's tall and scored a goal in a semi-final against Tottenham on this ground, striding in.
At that end.
Also point out that Arsenal have won 3 consecutive FA Cup semi-finals here. Plenty of happy Old Trafford memories for the Gunners supporters. None of those games, of course, against Manchester United. They need to get the throw. Keane. O'Shea. That's the throw. Steve Bennett checked with his assistant, who was quite a long way away, Andy Garrett, down the on the touchline in the other half of the pitch. We've had a reasonable view of it. Oh, Lehmann slipped. Had gone out. There's a lot of watering goes on the Premiership pitch, and as I said, it was the heavens helping last night with some heavy rain. We're with Arsenal again on Friday. They play Newcastle United, who need some points of their own. Sky Sports 1 at 7. Unusual evening to bring you live Premiership football. Make a note in your diaries. Neville. Try there again. A little bit of a handoff by Philip Neville.
Now, fast approaching the last quarter of the match. I think it comes now down to two managers themselves might play a huge part in this, Martin. They have players on the bench. They certainly will be thinking of trying to win it, and it's the best way of doing it. Sometimes, you know, certainly Arsene Wenger might be a little reluctant. His team have done okay at 0-0 away from home at Old Trafford. So that's Ferguson, you feel, on the other hand, would be thinking, is there anyone I can bring on who's better than what I've got on there and might get me a goal?
Robert Perez, wondering whether he might get the call. Edu as well in the picture. Fortune. Quentin Fortune might have been playing football in North London himself. He was a junior at Tottenham for a while, then had problems with a work permit because of his South African origins. Vieira. Cole. Good chasing back by Ronaldo. He has to do that side of the job, and he was of course caught out when Cole had the shot in the first half. It was a real jump into the tackle by Patrick Vieira. It's part of his game plan that's got him into trouble in the past.
It's a good one.
He lunged at the ball that time.
He's been caught a couple of times with Gary Neville's long throw from the halfway line.
Maybe now from Gary Neville's long throw into the penalty area. Toure got to it, and so did Keane. It was a great challenge. Parlour didn't pull out either. O'Shea. Bergkamp. He's got Parlour to work with on the outside. He's got Henry to try and find through the middle. Ljungberg has kept pace with this Arsenal attack. No one else. Parlour got there in the end and got the Gunners to throw.
I think the ball might have found Freddie Ljungberg. That first cross from Thierry Henry.
He's going to put it out. Arsenal almost to the 70-minute mark. They've not conceded a goal. They've worked collectively. Bergkamp's done his bit on that. But they haven't found a goal of their own, which is unusual for Arsenal. But none against Inter. Just a doubtful penalty against Portsmouth. That sort of spell at the moment. They've got players who can suddenly find the inspiration even against the opposition of this calibre. And so the Arsenal defenders know that Manchester United can be similarly described. Fortune. Giggs. Arsenal's way. That might have been a foul by Quentin Fortune, but he's the player who stayed down. Just looking down to see if there's any immediate signs of players coming on. There's plenty of stretching and limbering up by those who still have tracksuit tops on.
What you might find is when one manager decides to make a change, Martin, the other one will react to it.
Aaron Fletcher hasn't played yet in the Premiership. Finally put off midfield man is now a Scottish international, despite Roy Keane's attempts to persuade him to opt for the Republic of Ireland, where his mother comes from. Sensibly restarted. Silverest. And the Community Shield, the 2 goals both came from set plays. Silvestre mentioned in the first half, heading in from a corner, and then Ori scoring from a free kick that probably Tim Howard should have done better with. Giggs. Ljungberg. And 2 Neville's for company. Bergkamp. Now Vieira. So again with a bit of a chessboard feel about it. Gilberto. Cole. Freddie Ljungberg, and he does get to the ball ahead of Gary Neville, and then there's Ronaldo-like footwork from Rio Ferdinand, which is great when it comes off in your own penalty area. Van Nistelrooy, Fortune, 4 forward for Manchester United here. Arsenal will be happy that Van Nistelrooy is in the wider position. Keane can take a touch and shoot if he wants. Wants to go to Ronaldo instead. Cole couldn't stop the cross, and others were there behind him in Arsenal yellow. Ljungberg,
Only just. He's very, very close to being onside.
Andy, how much is the onus on Manchester United here? They're the home side. Arsenal will go top if it's a draw. They won't.
I think at times, you see these 2 teams play, Martin, it's almost as if they think, well, let's get this game over with and get on with the rest of the season, and we'll see who wins it. We'll take a point each and then get on with it. Certainly the onus is on Manchester United as a home side.
Here's Henry.
What they wouldn't want to do is do something daft, Martin, overcommit, leave gaps at the back, trying to win it, and end up losing it. That's the fine balancing act.
Manchester United, of course, have lost the Premiership game this season at Southampton. It was 1-0, and it was a very late goal from James Beattie, you'll recall. Arsenal, for all their toils in the Champions League, in 1 match in the Champions League, have held 5 in the Premiership, won 4 and drawn 1. Some crisis, eh? Bergkamp, Vieira just bounces away from him. That was lovely football from Arsenal.
Rio Ferdinand was looking for the linesman who gave the thumbs up, but is Patrick Vieira offside? Oh, borderline. Flag might have gone up. Well, that's Arsenal's, typically Arsenal move, that kind of movement, that kind of passing.
Diego Forlan is coming on. John O'Shea, I mentioned at the outset there was a fitness question about him, whether that's been taken into account or whether it's purely tactical. They've got Quinton Fortune who can go into left back.
Well, I thought one of the wide men would come off, Martin. I thought Forlan. I thought he'd keep Giggs and Van Nistelrooy on, trying to win the game, Sir Alex, and take one of the wide players off.
It's a free kick to Manchester United. That was a signal from the assistant.
I thought it was a clumsy one from the man in the picture. He just seemed to lean into him as he's going to get the ball here. Comes across. There you go. I mean, how can you argue with that? Ronaldo ain't really going anywhere.
It's been a subplot today to the main story, hasn't it? How Arsenal defended against Ronaldo. And it's Ryan Giggs who, remember, hit the post on a free kick in the first half. And he's only hit the gloves of Jens Lehmann. Vieira. Henry. And Giggs recognising that he got to chase, but he doesn't get to Thierry Henry. Fortune get to Fowler, he does. Just wondered whether Henry might just go at the heart of Manchester United when he got the ball.
I thought he might go on that Fortune a little bit, trying to offer up a 2v1. You know, just drive at him, drive at him. The ball still gave him a chance, didn't it, Fortune, Martin, to get across. Didn't favour Parlour.
It was a good tackle for a player who's just been moved into that position. Vieira. Toure. Gilberto. Much in there again for Manchester United. Ronaldo on the run. Oh, and Van Nistelrooy couldn't take it with him. To Arsenal's considerable relief.
They looked to play offside there. Flag stayed down. And only surprised, having been given the opportunity, he didn't get it out his feet.
Fortune. And Steve Bennett's reaching for a card to show to Patrick Vieira. He's just saying, totting up the offences. Needs to keep his mouth shut, Patrick Vieira. He's got one yellow card. If he continues with dissent, it could turn into two, which would be disastrous for Arsenal at this stage.
And Dennis Bergkamp just struggling as well, around about the halfway line. So it's a booking for Patrick Vieira, but he wants to work with him before he goes away.
Sometimes this is the side of Arsenal that doesn't do them a lot of credit. They do feel particularly aggrieved if there's a sense of injustice in the air. Steve Bennett just making clear that Vieira has got the yellow card.
Without a doubt. I mean, is that part of the law? Is that you have to actually walk up to his face and shove it in it?
I know it's something that you always hated as a player, didn't you? Still more than 10 minutes to go. Arsenal still haven't got guaranteed reward for their efforts here at Old Trafford today. Ronaldo. It's Keown who's there first when the cross arrived. Forlan has not got a goal for Manchester United since that dramatic winner, very late on, against Chelsea in January. Keane. Past Cole. Past Ljungberg. Heads away. And Vieira, having worked hard to keep the ball, and now Van Nistelrooy jumps into him. Now, did Vieira kick out then? It looks as though Steve Bennett thinks that he did. He's off.
Well, I know what the problem is. I mean, this has taken a long time to blow up. But they're after
not finished yet.
And it ain't finished yet. Now they're furious at Van Nistelrooy. What happens, I think, and I ain't seen the replay, but Van Nistelrooy goes up to challenge, and as he comes down, now he lands on him, but if he lands on him accidentally, he's reacted. But he lands on Vieira around about the chest region. Up he goes, and well, he didn't do anything really. I thought he landed for where I was. Now that is absolutely balmy, Patrick. You see the foot there as he comes down now.
Well, he certainly didn't touch him, but
there's Steve Bennett's view of it. Now he can't. All he can see is the boot and it going to his midriff. That's what it looks like from where he stood, the referee.
But Vieira is off. Arsenal are down to 10 men. And Patrick Vieira gets red carded in a Premiership game for the 8th time, which is the most by any player since the start of the league. He was equal with Roy Keane, and I think Vinnie Jones as well. It's not a record that anyone would want.
Well, we'll be reading about it again tomorrow. Arsene Wenger saying hard done by. Why Arsenal again? The Arsenal manager will be saying. There's absolutely no doubt there was a reaction from the Arsenal skipper.
Bergkamp has been taken off. Vieira sent off. Edu is the player on for Bergkamp.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Van Nistelrooy is getting booked for.
This was the referee, remember, in the Community Shield, who said he didn't see Sol Campbell kick out, and the authorities looked at the video and have cited Campbell.
Well, the fourth official's just calling him over here, Martin, for a minute. I don't know whether there's got more to be had. This might not have ended this incident. And I don't know whether he saw something. You know, when all that fight and scrapping was going on, whether something happened or whether we're going to get on with it. No, we're getting on with it.
Well, referee Bennett's name will be in the news, but Patrick Vieira lost the plot over the first yellow card, really. And
well, two things were though, Martin. He did lose the plot there in the challenge. He was incensed. He felt that Van Nistelrooy obviously did something deliberately. He did land on him slightly. There's no doubt about that as he came down. There's no doubt that Patrick reacted. There's no doubt that he made no contact whatsoever. But we saw from that wonderful camera angle the referee's position, and it certainly looks like there was contact from his view. But even if there wasn't, would the referee say, well, there was intent there, so I had no option.
And Nistelrooy was also cautious. So it was Francis Jeffers, of course, who was sent off by this referee in the Community Shield. And Arsenal felt generally that Manchester United got a better than even deal. Philip Neville was a player that they objected to, and Eric Jemba, who was challenging high in the incident that provoked a reaction by Sol Campbell in that game. It's the one piece of disciplinary action that's still hanging over that fixture in August. But we haven't finished with the disciplinary action here. Ronaldo yellow carded for his contact on Ljungberg. As though it's going to have to be another change. Ljungberg limping off, but they'll want to return straight away. I think the likelihood is that he will be back. And are you suggesting that from that angle, which I agree with you is very revealing, that Steve Bennett thought that there was contact, or are we saying that really the intent was enough for Vieira to get a second yellow card?
I'm saying from that angle, when it happened, that the referee thought there had been contact.
Edu. Henry. Arsenal had issues with Van Nistelrooy before, of course. Edu keeping the ball even more important for Arsenal. Now 5 minutes to go. Arsene Wenger, I'm sure, emphasised at the start of the game the need for discipline, almost dignity on the field. It's easy to say that, and managers want those qualities, but in the heat of the battle, and it was coming towards the nub of the contest, really, whether Arsenal had it in them to see it through, and they might yet see it through, but they're going to have to do it with a man short, a suspension coming up for their captain. And you're quite right, I'm sure we'll hear from Arsenal. It's always one way, this. It's always our players that are in trouble. Well, Manchester United, maybe a little bit more subtle in what they do in that side of the game. Their disciplinary record, of course, is very good. Just one player sent off all last season. That was Roy Keane. Cole is down. The game is not stopped, so they're down to 9 men, Arsenal. Manchester United, oh, it's a free kick. There was no suggestion from Gary Neville that he was going to put the ball out.
Well, I don't know if he knew. I mean, he just loses control of this, and both players go for the ball. I mean, that's a genuine, honest, good good tackle. Both block tackles. Sometimes one gets hurt. Ashley Cole's that time, but there's no suggestion, anything. But this is the problem. Let's have a look at it. Real time. This is how it happened. This is the pace of it all. Now watch carefully. Up he goes. See the foot in the back. Now that, I think, is what incensed Patrick Vieira. It's the right foot on the back. Now it didn't seem a lot there, and there's absolutely nothing there.
Well, it was as if Van Nistelrooy had seen a cobra spitting at him. Just a few raised studs by Patrick Vieira.
I guess we've not heard the last of this.
Keane.
It's unfortunate because the game
generally a game on that
really well.
team, had it?
Yeah.
They came here thinking that possibly it could be, but it's kicked off in that sense.
Well,
a long way from the kick-off
back on as well. He got him eventually.
And that's why, you know, I've got nothing but sympathy for Steve Bennett. He's been put in this situation. Everything about the Community Shield will be raked up again.
Yeah.
Had it been a different referee, we could have been spared that.
Yeah, well, Philip Dawn should have realised that. He should not have appointed Steve Bennett into a situation that could be like we've just seen.
Parlour. But his answer will be, hang on, did Patrick Vieira kick out?
That's all it will, but it doesn't matter. His answer is. We've got enough good quality referees, so to keep telling us around. They could have taken charge of this.
Well, they haven't. They've got 20 odd, and that's not enough because the same officials keep seeing the same teams over and over again, which certainly wasn't the case when you were playing.
They might as well hit this, haven't they?
Yeah, but Edu's one of these players who rather strokes his free kicks for a Brazilian, doesn't he? But maybe he's got something of a surprise factor. It was one of the harder ones I've seen him hit.
It would have been interesting had that been on target. There's enough power on this. Moving, dipping, bending.
Good score from a free kick, of course, here in Arsenal's FA Cup win last season. Massive deflection. Cole, after Edu had lost the ball, now Cole loses it. Ljungberg is there to help out. Their togetherness has been put under question. What happened here? Is it going to be...
Just caught him in the back, I guess. Referee saw some contact.
Quentin Fortune. Caution for him. Into added time.
Just ball played in. There's a little nibble at the Achilles. Ray Parlour, he's late. That's why he's booked. There's 3 minutes of stoppage time is the answer. How much Arsenal have got to go. And something might happen in 3 minutes, but I think Arsenal have done enough to rightly say they've deserved something out of this game. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Ronaldo. Quickly forward to Van Nistelrooy by Gary Neville. Parlour. Giggs took it away from Ray Parlour. Gilberto. Oh, they're desperately trying to get there. Here's Forlan. Van Nistelrooy making a run off him. Gary Neville has covered a lot of ground to get involved as well. Towards Forlan, but penalty against Martin Keown. The controversy hasn't finished here. Arsenal cannot believe it. In stoppage time. And you know who's going to take it? Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Well, the referee is in the most perfect position to see this. The ball gets played in. Martin Keown, as he got hold of his shirt, we can't quite see it from there. But look where the referee is, Martin. Right plumb in the middle, looking right down the barrel, as they say, of the incident. I think he could only have seen Martin Keown's right hand go onto the back of the shirt and pull it back.
Well, there are players who have given everything today when Arsenal were called into question. Seconds away from a very good result, a goalless draw. The one vestige of hope, Jens Lehmann saved a penalty from Van Nistelrooy in the shootout in Cardiff last month. It'll almost be the last kick of the game, but the referee surely will add on some time for the delay here.
God bless me. I was just beginning to say, well, it's probably been one of the poorer Arsenal Manchester United games we've watched. But the last 10 minutes have been dramatic, if nothing else. And goodness me, what a moment for penalty taker and goalkeeper.
This for 3 points, this to beat fierce rivals, this to go top of the Premiership tonight. Ball's coming back from Gary Neville. Fortune. And that's the word for Arsenal at the moment. Van Nistelrooy's there again. Henry heads away. Phil Neville. It's Keane. It's Van Nistelrooy with Keown all over it. It's the final whistle. And Arsenal do get their draw, but it's not finished yet. They're all around Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Well, Martin Keown was in his face right after he missed the penalty. He's spiky at the best of times, Martin.
There's another fight going on between Lauren and Giggs. There are people off the bench trying to pull the players apart. If you ever doubted the intensity of the rivalry here, because maybe for 75 minutes it was a football match, then it became a feud. Vieira went off. Van Nistelrooy suddenly lost the magic touch from the penalty spot. And he wasted the chance to win the game. Martin Keown conceded the penalty. But the video men who assess incidents after matches might be having a look at the last knockings here. But it was the ball that knocked against the bar and came out that was the decisive moment right at the end of the game.
You know,
you don't want to see it, but you can understand it. He's rankled them, not just today, but in other matches as well. It's not a great example, so many of you youngsters watching, but it is heated at the highest level. And at the highest level of the Premiership tonight, you'll find the name of Arsenal. Final thoughts, Andy?
well, I'm not quite sure where to start, Martin. As I've said, Arsene Wenger will have his say, and no doubt he'll feel the decisions went against this team again. We can debate that and debate that. Simple fact of the matter is, Patrick Vieira did react. It did look from the referee's position that he did kick at and make contact with Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Definite penalty?
Well, I mean, we've not had a competitive view. I can only suggest yes, and I mean that because he had the best view on the ground. Martin Keown did not debate the fact much as he would have liked. I think Martin Keown had a chunk of his shirt and pulled him that back, and that's why the referee gave the penalty. I can think of no other reason. I would not argue with that. He had the best view in this football ground, the referee, to give that decision at the time.
An extraordinary conclusion after 7 successive home wins in the league. United held on the day Arsenal held their nerve. 0-0.
Extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. We'll probably be here all night sorting that out. Don't move.
The road awaits with the promise of adventure.
Let's go!
Stretching out to new horizons. You choose where it takes you. Take the high road to glory. Set foot on foreign fields.
He does it!
Explore the limits of your nerve.
You know who I am?
Find comfort in strangers. You never know what's round the corner. October on Sky. Enjoy the view.
Have you spent like 5 minutes with him? He's totally self-centered and insensitive. They just don't go together. I mean, she's my best friend. She has these emotional needs he can't meet. Remember what she went through with Brian? It was really awful. He's so rude.
And it's a deep pass to centre, and he's running into space. He's gone past one, past two. He's going all the way. He shoots, and that's 3-0. The captain's weaving one result in a third.
You're such a great listener.
Thanks.
They became legends.
Well, on the green net, Kelly, this here's the fabulous Joe Byrne.
Fighting the war
It's the killer!
to get justice.
They won the war, lads. Let's get them on.
The only way they knew how.
I am a widow's son, outlawed, and my orders must be obeyed.
Bacardi and Coke.
Bacardi, welcome to the Latin Quarter.
Well, look, he's just lashed out. I mean, that would be the Arsenal players' objection with that.
Hadn't he?
He had lashed out and he hasn't caught him. That's evident. Now, is there intent there to catch him? Who knows? And the referee's deemed it that 2 minutes earlier he's got himself in that position by the yellow card.
He never calmed down, in truth, did he?
He never calmed down. It's refreshing to see somebody like Roy Keane trying to diffuse the whole situation, you know, because if there was, and not only a few heads out there, there's a few of them lost it, you know, and Keane's been the peacemaker with him, with his trying to drag him away.
Was it a penalty?
Well, we couldn't get too much of a go. I mean, the reaction says it all of Martin. I mean, he's not done anything, has he? He's down on the ground and he's just accepted that decision. Forlan had just got ahead of him, hadn't he, with that little dash in towards the 6-yard box, and he'd got a yard, and Martin's right arm maybe just pushing him to the floor.
Well, did it or didn't it, rather than maybe?
I think it's a penalty. I think he's jumped into him. I think Martin knows that Forlan is heading it. If he doesn't make that sort of challenge, he's caught wrong side, and then
he couldn't have had a clear mind walking up to that penalty.
That's 3 successive misses, Alan.
Well, and there is fear to say there is.
Look at the keeper. Look at the keeper, by the way.
Well, he's further off his line, isn't he, than Robinson was? I think you could argue. But
I don't think so.
Call that one back.
I wouldn't even call that one. I don't think so. That one. I think it's once you've missed one, you know, and I used to take them a long time ago.
Have been unfortunate to lose in the last minute.
Was that caution a direct result of what happened on Wednesday night, do you think?
I think so. It was a shock for us. We were always on top and got punished so quickly on Wednesday. You know always the next game will be vital not to be go into a crisis of confidence. And that's why the team was resilient today and didn't want to lose the game.
Was it a penalty for you? What did Martin Keown say?
He said he went for the ball and they both went, and I think it was a very harsh decision.
You were looking for a reaction after, and did you get the one you were looking for?
Yes, of course, but when you get a shock like we got on Wednesday night, the most important is the character of the team, and today I've seen plenty, and I must say a lot of credit to these players because they have, over the years now, have remarkable consistency, and it's not outlined enough, I think, because that shows as well a tremendous spirit.
Finished the game with 10 men again. What was your view of the sending off?
I think Van Nistelrooy doesn't help, frankly, and he's a great player, but I think his attitude is always looking for provocation and diving, and he looks a nice boy, but I think on the pitches not always a fair behaviour.
Patrick has a responsibility to keep his head, though.
Exactly, but I think the first foul, if Patrick had gone off, Van Nistelrooy should have gone off as well, and largely so.
Did Patrick feel that Van Nistelrooy had caught him in that foul?
Yes, he's 100% sure that Van Nistelrooy caught him, and I've seen that from a bench as well. You're in a good position here because you're high up, and from the bench you've seen that Van Nistelrooy went for him first.
Is that a kind of cheating in your book?
Yes, I think so, because I believe it's again, Patrick should not have maybe have reacted, but again, you punish more of the consequence than the source of the problem.
It will overshadow the game itself. Is that a shame, do you think?
Yes, because it was a very tight game with two very good teams, and unfortunately the headlines here when you get always about something different than football, when there's a possibility there. But I think I would say it was a game between two great teams.
You have a very important run of games coming up. How does this result set you up for that?
Well, it is a draw away from home against Man United, who will fight for the title for us. It's a very good result today.
Thanks, Arsene.
Thank you.
Did Ruud van Nistelrooy do a lot wrong, Alan?
No, I think from Vieira's point of view, he's felt him land on him with his knees or whatever, but I think Steve Bennett booked him for it afterwards, didn't he? He issued the yellow card, so he has punished him for the challenge, and he issued the same punishment to Vieira, just that it was his second yellow card. You know, I think Arsene Wenger is always reluctant to criticise his players in public, and rightly so. All the top managers are, but
what about the reaction? Did he exaggerate that?
Well, yeah, he has exaggerated it, but nothing like to the extent that, you know, followed with the reaction. You know, maybe his reputation's gone before him in that he has tumbled in the past and exaggerated tackles, but I don't think he did a whole lot wrong. And at the end, when he was getting shoved from pillar to post, I thought he showed a lot of restraint not to react.
He was first man down the tunnel, in fact, wasn't he? Got away from all of the trouble.
To be fair, what was happening to him at the end was not right, was it? It wasn't right, whatever's happened or whatever. There's 5 or 6 of them jumping on him there, and to be fair to Van Nistelrooy, he hasn't reacted one little bit. He's walked away from it, and he's obviously more disappointed than anybody because he's missed a penalty more than anything that will have shocked him there today as the chance to...
Very diplomatic. What does this tell us, this draw, about the relative strength of the two teams, Roy?
Well, again, it goes to show, you know, that there's not much between the two teams. Of course, there's Chelsea, you know, making a big surge. So it's going to be tight for the whole season, I think.
You see it as a three-way race this year?
No, I think Liverpool, maybe Newcastle if they come back into it. But I always say whoever finishes above Man United or Arsenal have got a great chance to win the league.
Good to be back playing again?
Yeah. You obviously missed the game midweek, but enjoying playing the games, especially against the likes of Arsenal.
And picking up the Barclaycard Man of the Match, Roy. Well done.
Surprised at that. Thank you.
Okay. That was 2 words in the end, wasn't it? No comment. In general?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going here to talk about Arsenal's disappointing record. I think everyone in the world has discussed that. That's for them to solve. But as far as I'm concerned, I can defend Ruud van Nistelrooy. And I've heard Arsenal's comments in your interview there. I'm really disappointed to hear that, because Ruud van Nistelrooy had a foul on Patrick Vieira. Like, there was many fouls in the whole game. Patrick himself had some fouls, and he's reacted badly. And Ruud is not dived. He's trying to get out of the road. He's looked at the referee. What kind of behaviour is this? And the referee was no option. He had no alternative. And I can defend Ruud van Nistelrooy in this. As for the behaviour at the end of the game, well, I think the FA will be doing that anyway. So I don't need to talk about Arsenal's disappointment. And I can only talk about my own players. Their discipline was perfect. And such a ferocious game and a high emotional game, I think my players have behaved properly.
Do you think what had happened before had played on Ruud van Nistelrooy's mind coming up to that penalty?
I think possibly missing the 2 penalties prior. We've been wanting to make sure, and that's why I think he's hit it so hard. Unfortunately, it's hit the bar.
How disappointed are your players in the dressing room now?
Oh, they're disappointed. But, you know, it's so early in the season. The one thing we knew today, nobody was winning the league today, nobody was losing it.
It was a scrap today, really, wasn't it?
It was a cat and mouse game, actually. There was a lot of caution in the match.
Was it one you could have enjoyed?
I think some parts we could enjoy, yes.
Thanks very much for your time, Jim.
OK, Greg Whelan asking the questions.
Behave better than some of their equivalents in the David Beckham was in difficulties just before half-time. But that was a lazy swing at it.
Well, he had time, but rather than opt for force, I think Nicky decided, well, it's a side foot, let's just control it and keep it down. It rises up fairly quickly. You can see his body shape, he's leaning slightly back. He takes it slightly early. And once it starts to rise, it's never coming back down again. Chance.
Even when you're watching from the Manchester United goal, as Barthez was.
Well, that's the key to the game for me now. It might well stay 1-0, but you do feel if United were to go on and get another one now, Mark, that Joe's team would have real difficulty in finding a way back in. But at 1-0, you feel that City will keep taking a chance, playing free up front. They're really trying to drive United back.
Gota. Mike Phillips' movement to his right from Laurent Charvet. Very good athlete. And a chance to show that here against Owen. Haaland! Oh, Brown! That's the margins we're dealing with here in the Manchester derby.
Well, he's unlucky, I have to say. A couple of deflections, one there. Then Gary Neville's almost takes it beyond Barthez. And, well, I think the touch from Barthez is the all-important thing here. If he misses this, Haaland would have scored, I think. The fact is he's almost palmed it onto his head. It was a reaction header from Haaland, no more than that.
Corner for Manchester City. Oh, Dickoff at the back post. Everyone's appealing. Steve Dunn, who's been very, very calm, points for a goal kick.
Well, this is a little Roy Keane and Dickoff get caught at the back post. Dickoff's just coming back. What a touch there. He's not really getting ahead on that. But this is a chance earlier when this ball here now. Haaland's coming in, he thinks he's going to score. You can see how he has to arch his back and then just let it hit his head. Wes Brown did ever so well. Hooked it away just in time. But really set up an exciting finish, Mark, one way or the other.
Can York reach this? Oh, he's giving it to Scholes! Wow.
Goodness me. Well, I thought York was offside when Scholes played it to him inadvertently. And then between them, goodness me, they should tie this game up. Is it a sign of Yorkie's lack of confidence, Mark, that he chose to pass that?
I'm sure it is. Well, they were given the ribbon, but they couldn't do the wrapping. But here's York again. And Weaver gets a foot to it. It spins as so much is done for Manchester United to Sheringham. Just diverted away from Beckham. Well, City have obviously got to press on, but if they overcommit too much, United will surely take a second goal on the break.
Well, just here, I thought that maybe York was offside from that mark. Whether he was classed as in line. But he decided not to take the shot on. And then having done this, well, I think Paul Scholes in that position, I certainly thought he was going to finish the game off. Normally so accomplished, that young man. For once it deserted him.
City needs some controlled possession if they're going to threaten the league leaders at this very late stage. It might come here with Whitley. Haaland for the umpteenth time urging himself forward. You see the weariness in him. He really has led by example.
Yeah, he's running on fumes now, isn't he? Alfie Haaland.
Oh, but it's been a thoroughly absorbing football occasion. There's no consolation for Joe Royle if it ends in a fourth successive Premiership.